Hey, how's it going? I have a little bit of a thing, coldish, sore throat business. Checking to see if everything is working. It seems to be. Let's see what's happening on Instagram. Oh, Instagram doesn't like that. Well, at least we're here. Instagram's working. It just doesn't look very good. It's like got half my face. Instagram, if it's not working for you, come over to any of the other platforms. YouTube, TikTok, it's working nice over there. I know why. It's because I'm not using Restream right now. Anyway, hope you're doing well. It is, what is it? It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday, and we're talking traffic. We're talking police stuff. We're talking whatever you want to talk about. My name is Sean Shapiro. I am a former Toronto police officer. That is correct. I am no longer a police officer. I left the job. But I still jump online on social media to help you with your traffic and police questions because I love this stuff. And I care. Let me make sure I'm in the right account here so I can see your comments and manage all that business. Hey to everyone jumping in. It feels like it's been a while. Oh, where's my counter? 11 people watching. I wonder where that's coming in from. Different app, different software, a lot more flexibility. In fact, here's good news for the Instagram folks. I'll be able to integrate your questions onto the show screen soon. Doesn't work right now, but it only because I'm having problems with Facebook. They're a pain in my butt. That's what they are. So long story short, well, actually, before I do that, my name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a former police officer. I think I said that already. Okay, moving on. Yeah. Okay, so long story short is I put two-factor authentication on my Facebook. And ever since doing that, I can't get into Facebook. So I have one phone that is logged in that works, and I cannot log in anywhere else. And I need to be able to log in to get the Instagram comments to go on screen. Now, that reminds me, I got to put on I need the chat overlay. Where is my chat overlay? Options, output, where is it? Oh, I guess it's on this screen. Here we go. Chat, and I see people popping into the chat. There we go. You can be on screen. Here's Chase who says, here we go. Yes, and Chase can finally say, good morrow again. It's been a while. Michael, good morning to you. Chase, not a supporter of Instagram, oddly enough. Too funny. And these comments are coming in from YouTube, but it also works on the other platforms. It works on where is it? X. It works on X. We haven't thoroughly tested it everywhere else. Do that. I've got that up so I can see your questions from TikTok. Akela's got a hard stop at 11, and I think I've got a hard stop at 11 too. I've got to go do a little pickup and delivery. I decided to be lazy this morning, and instead of making lunch for my kids, I said I'm going to go pick lunch up for them and drop it off to their school. And then we've got a dad joke for later, so thank you for that. What do we got here? Romy says, what's up, Sean? Huge fan. Romy, thanks for the shout out, for saying hey. I'm glad that I could be here. I appreciate the support. Let's see here. Vic says hi. Brad says woohoo. Hey, if you're watching on TikTok, do me a favor, tap that screen so your fingers go numb. The likes help the show get seen by more people, and more people mean more questions, and you might get a question answered that you didn't even know you wanted you had. People asked the darndest things. And this is back to the old time. I used to do this when I was with Toronto Police. I used to go live at 10 o'clock. Let me know if that is good. I've done a bunch of lives at night, and with some pretty good numbers. Lots of people who like it at night. So I'd like to know where you prefer your live stream. Can I see where people are? Voiceover Cop on X is 11 people. Doesn't show, and I have a YouTube. We have 4 people on YouTube right now. Yeah, interesting. We're on LinkedIn. We're on where else were we broadcasting to? Instagram Live, TikTok. Yeah, that's where we are. It feels lonely without the other places. I didn't go back onto Kick or Twitch. Maybe I should. We never had a huge number of people on those. Let's see here. Brando1234 wants to know how many years until points are added back to your license does the ticket stay on the driving record? Brando, the answer to your question is that you want 0. It's like a golf score. You want 0 points. And when the points are added after a conviction, they stay on your license for 3 years. Conviction point, sorry, my bad. the conviction stays on your current license for 3 years. The points stay on for 2 years, but it's a different clock. So points are only good for 2 years from the date of the offense. So if you get a ticket and you pay it immediately, you get your points. If you take it to court and it takes 2 years to go to court, you never see points because they wouldn't be valid, and they can only be applied once you have a conviction, which is either by pleading guilty or being found guilty in court. So points are really just for tracking how bad your license and driving behavior is. It doesn't affect your insurance. Convictions, however, do affect your insurance, and they are very specifically on for 3 years from the date of conviction. So if you wait, I mean, this is an exaggerated number, but let's say it takes you 10 years to get to court, which would never happen. 10 years to get to court, you get convicted, you're still going to have you're still going to have a conviction for 3 years. Got it? Okay. Hope that helps. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Sean Chen says, hey, good morning. Hi, Sean Chen. Good to see you. Let me know if you have any good photos. I'm looking. You always have great photos. Sean is a talented photographer. Okay, what do we got here? Dad jokes for later. Another dad joke for later. Love the dad jokes. I got a new mug. It's not here. I'm rocking a Toronto Police giant mug because I'm having giant tea. Giant tea being that I'm getting a little bit of a cold, so I have a sore throat. So I'm having tea. But what's the point of my story? I got a great mug, which I will reveal tomorrow at 10 a.m. And tomorrow I'm going to be on Jerry Agar's show on News Talk 1010, which will be doing it a live stream here at the same time. So 10 a.m. tomorrow for a live stream, and I'll join on join up live here and watch the show because Jerry, I believe, is going to be on camera too, which is a new thing that was never done before. The world is changing. Is it fair to ask for VOC merch now? I could make VOC merch now. People wanted it when I was with Toronto Police, but I couldn't make merch then. I can make merch now. I haven't made merch though. I have some one-off mugs that I made for myself, but that's not what tomorrow's mug is. Tomorrow's mug's awesome, and it was purchased at Winners in Woodbridge. So if you see the mug, you can just go buy the mug where I bought the mug was it from Winners in Woodbridge? I think it was Woodbridge. Okay. Okay, we got a quote from Napoleon Hill from Akela. Well, Akela, yes, he delivered it. Okay, let's see what's going on in the TikTok world. I want to move this over here. All right. Questions. We got questions. If you want to talk about traffic safety, traffic law, police stuff, that's why we are here. We being me and you. Okay. Brad says, great to see you again. Will I be able to watch this later? Yes. If you go on to YouTube, you can watch archives of all the shows, everything back to the Toronto Police days. All live streams were copied here on the Voiceover Cop channel on YouTube. You can also, I've got to get into the habit of uploading these because I promised I would onto the whatchamacallit, the podcasting platforms. Yes. Aaron says the lives at night are way better. Okay, maybe I do both. We'll see. Maybe different days. And I've been saying this. When I was with the Toronto Police, my schedule was 6 to 2, so I would do 6 to 2. That's what I did. And working nights was difficult because I worked 6 to 2, so doing anything afterwards was more. Now I can go live whenever I want to. I can do it all day long. I could sit here all day long, except for bathroom and food breaks. We're not going to do that. Okay. Iron Lady says, good morning from Mississauga. Good morning, Iron Lady. A Bear says, do you not work for Toronto Police anymore? I do not work for Toronto Police anymore. I left. My last day of work was the 30th of August. And I left for a couple of reasons, some personal and, family stuff. I just need to be around more. And otherwise, I just wanted to stop driving 3 hours a day because my round trip with traffic was 3 hours. If there was no traffic, it was like a half an hour. But because of traffic in Toronto, which can suck at times, you've seen major rock stars and artists and who walked to their venue because driving was so pathetic. Yeah, I couldn't do the traffic anymore. It was a culmination of many things that resulted in me saying it's time to go. I did go early. I could have stayed for, I would have normally stayed for 8 more years, 10 more years, to go full. So I left early, and I took a hit for that. People say, oh, you left, you're getting a pension, sitting at home getting a pension, getting paid tax. No, I got a significantly reduced pension or payout as a result of leaving so early, but I think it was the right decision. That said, I miss my family at work, my work family, my blue family terribly. They're my good friends. They still and will always be. But there you go. Tony, what is Tony's full name here? Can I hover? Will it tell me? Doesn't seem to be. I see it's Sony Duck. Maybe is that DaCosta? Let's see. Let's see what we can see here. Scrolling back up. Okay. Hi. Okay, what do we got here? Great to see you. Okay, scrolling, catching up. Do you feel police spend time on issues that the public actually think are issues as well? This is a Romy Doger question, and I'll come back to the other comment in a moment. But Romy, I think the police are specifically targeting the stuff that the public wants targeted. Some stuff the public doesn't care about, but like, for instance, speeding. Many of the people who speed don't want police to deal with speeding. However, it's incredibly important. So just because everybody's not in agreement doesn't mean it's not important. But yeah, I think there should be even more stuff that we spend time on. And like, for instance, right now, bicycles on sidewalks, huge problem for pedestrians. Do the police have enough resources to spend the appropriate amount of time dealing with them? Sadly, no. There's not enough police officers around to deal with everything all the time. But there you go. So Tony DaCosta, I can see your name here on TikTok now. Good morning, everybody. Good morning to you too, Tony. Jay Metrovsky. Okay. Why? What does unpaid 407 bills do to your license? I don't think it's going to affect your license at all. It's going to affect your license plate. You won't be able to renew it. I don't believe it affects your license. That they have jurisdiction over your license plate, so you wouldn't be able to renew it for unpaid fines. And I've pulled people over in the past that had like $5,000-$10,000 of unpaid 407, and they can't get a new sticker. Of course, if you don't renew your sticker, your plate is not eligible to circulate, and that's a problem. Sergeant Robitaille, how you doing? I see they joined and said, voiceover cop. Hey, that's what they said. Hey, voiceover cop. How's it going? Long time no see. I see your content's awesome. I love all the photos you're sharing. CC Brando says, what do you miss most about being a police officer? By the way, thank you for your service. I miss the people. It's always the thing. I miss the people. Unfortunately, I really, really missed being on the road. I'd spent about 5 years off the road after an injury. And I think that had I still been on the road, had I still been able to serve in the capacity that I wanted to, really, then I'd still be a police officer because I was out there making a difference. I love doing the social media stuff, and I'm still doing the social media stuff, but I don't need to be a cop to do the social media stuff. I don't have to drive downtown to do that. So to be a police officer, to get into a police car and go drive around, I would still drive downtown to do that. I love that. But I can't do that because of the injury I sustained as a motorcycle officer when I got into a collision. So if I'm not going to be a police officer in the way that I want to, then I can do this from my basement. Anyway, but thank you for that. Let me see here. Here's a question. Vic wants to know what happens if you see flashing green lights. I'm sure you mean flashing green lights. Flashing green lights, you're talking about you're not talking about a signal. You're talking about volunteer firefighters, magical people who volunteer their time to help save people and their stuff. I say that because in smaller communities, they rely on volunteers to properly respond to fires. And they're amazing folks. So what do you have to do? You pull over to the side of the road as a courtesy. It's not required by law, but it is, those people could be moving towards your house to save your house from fire. So move over. Now, they're not allowed to speed. They're not allowed to go through red lights, but they do have somewhere to go in a hurry. But that just means get out of their way. Okay. What do we got here? We have Paul Noble, who says, good morning. And let's see here. Oh, we got good morning to you, Paul. And Chase says, given that we are in the double digits this weekend and early next week, when is everyone putting on their winter tires? Thank you for bringing it up, Chase. Winter tires should go on when the temperatures are averaging 7 degrees or less. That's the sweet spot. 7 days of 7 degrees or less, that's when you should put them on. So we've been seeing that. And one day that blips up over, if it's an anomaly, isn't a reason to switch back. It's when you're seeing consistent temperatures. We're there. We're for the most part, we're seeing temperatures below 7. Today feels like -2 when I got up. It was like 2 degrees. Now, I haven't put mine on yet, but I'm going to very shortly. And if you've got them, use them, because there's nothing safer in winter temperatures and snow than winter tires. That's not a snow tire. It's a temperature that has the compounds that allow it to stay flexible in colder temperatures. Those all weathers or summers turn to rock at a certain temperature. They're just not suitable. My chair is very noisy. It's very annoying. Okay. Does this mean I need a new chair? It's like a new chair. It just makes squeaky noises. So maybe I have to tighten some bolts. But it's annoying because I hear everything amplified right through here. If you notice the chair, let me know, because it Wait. Why? Why must it make so much noise? Okay, moving on. What is this? Oh, Kayla says, I've got to try it again. There we go. Kayla says, I've got to do some writing while the show is on. I need to do a data description. That sounds exhilarating. Okay. Michael has a statement. If I could change the demerit point system, make them added after conviction, regardless of how long it takes, then the demerit points off every 12 months if no further conviction. Listen, could they revamp it? Could they make it different? They could certainly change it. What do we got here? We got Adatia. I don't know if I got you right there. Unofficial says, if my car is taking a left turn and the one on the opposite side, the car is taking a right turn, which car has the right of way? I hope that you're taking the right turn and the car's not doing it on its own. But a vehicle that's making a turn across traffic, so taking a left turn across traffic, and the other side, okay, so you're making a left turn across a live lane of traffic, and the other vehicle is making a right turn. We both have an obligation to make your turns in safety, but you're crossing a lane of traffic, making you the one who has a higher obligation. They have the right of way, making their right turn over your left turn across the flow of a live lane. So there you go. Both you have to be careful. Both of you could be charged in relation to your component, because if they make a right turn and drive into you, that's a problem. So who's there first also plays into it. So it's not as simple an answer as I'd like. But generally speaking, two cars there at the same time about to make the turn, the priority goes to the vehicle that's not crossing live lane of traffic. Sergeant Robitaille says, question, have seen many motorcycles that split lanes or in stopped gridlock lane filter. Can you discuss the current laws for Ontario motorists? I appreciate the question. Thank you, Sergeant. The deal is that there's no specific law that describes lane splitting. I shouldn't say it. There is no law called lane splitting. There is no law that says thou shalt not drive between two vehicles in those words and call it a specific title. However, if I'm seeing what you're doing and it looks dangerous, it could be careless driving, stunt driving, or even criminal dangerous driving. So what makes the difference? If you're traveling at a high rate of speed between vehicles, which we see all the time motorcyclists doing, well, that could be a higher penalty. If they're walking it, if their footsies are on the ground and they're walking between traffic, I don't care. That to me is not an issue. Walking speed, pushing with your feet. Very different than riding at speed. What we tend to see on the highways is people traveling with a 20, 30, 40 kilometer an hour speed variable or differential. That's the word I'm looking for. So stop traffic and someone's doing 40K between, that's a problem. That to me is careless driving, or could even be stunt driving. You start getting into much faster speeds. Obviously, stunt driving, it's a marked departure from what the rest of the traffic is going. Now, the big argument is, well, what if I'm at stoplight, I'm at an intersection, and I'm the last vehicle. I'm a motorcycle, I'm the last vehicle. And I know there's someone coming down the road, and they are no doubt going to be on their phone. I don't want to get crushed by that vehicle. Okay, lane filtering for the purpose of moving 2 car lengths up so you're not the last vehicle, I endorse it, I support it. And any police officer who sees what you're doing can understand. If they don't understand, you could likely inform them. If they were still going to charge you, you could likely make that argument to a court to say, I moved 2 car lengths up and stopped because I didn't want to get hit by a car. That is reasonable. The average person sees it as such. But when you drive, between cars that are stopped 6, 10, 12 car lengths up and take off to the front and then zoom forward, now that's not reasonable anymore, in my opinion. Another officer may have a different opinion. The courts may have a different opinion. This is the joy about traffic and law in general, is its interpretation and what's reasonable and what a layperson would see. So you're allowed to have a difference of opinion to some degree. Some things are very, very specific. So hope that answers your question. And my go-to advice this is Sergeant Robitaille saying that my go-to advice to these motorcyclists this is in California, because in California it's perfectly legal. And I get it, but if you look at the California Highway Patrol's website, they specifically state that although it's legal, it's incredibly dangerous. Look at how badly people drive in Ontario, everywhere. Do you really want to put your life in their hands? Well, that's what people do every day. We need to all do better. Okay. Basharat says, Sir Sean, nice to see you again. Walk safely, drive carefully. Love from Pakistan. Thanks so much for the message, Basharat. I haven't heard from your friend, but we'll have to catch up and see how things are going. Basharat is a police officer in Punjab, Pakistan, and he works in the traffic unit there. Okay. Going back to TikTok, which I've been ignoring for a little while. What do we got here? Standard Toronto commute. Yeah, 3 hours. Not good. What do you think the cause of the huge spikes in gun crime? I couldn't speculate as to what the spikes are, other than the fact that criminals keep getting arrested and released, and there's very little. Like, if you didn't get the appropriate number of hugs when you were a child, they don't convict you, apparently. We have it appears to be that we have a huge backlog and a very soft justice system at the moment. We're not tossing people away for life. We're giving them like house arrest because they didn't mean to rob the person and beat them. They didn't mean anyway. I'm not incredibly impressed with the justice system. The police do amazing work. They hand them over to a very backlogged legal system that doesn't seem to do the right thing. And then, of course, well, anyway, I'm not getting into it. I blame people in the stage after policing. And of course, I blame the people who don't give us sufficient number of police officers because we need many more than we have. Big Dog says, too much politics with TPS. Good for you to enjoy your retirement. Thank you so much. Romy says, okay, we got that. Romy said, thank you, Sean. But then you have Ford getting rid of bike lanes. I'm not a huge fan of bike lanes, to be honest. I get that they give you a segregated place for cyclists to be, but I don't think there's a sufficient number of cyclists to warrant them. Like we don't get anywhere. An hour is Toronto is an hour away from Toronto is what I've always said. And if we just cut those lanes in half for occasionally used bike lanes, that's a real problem. Now, I appreciate that cyclists need to get around and they need a place to get around safely. And if we're all doing the right thing, we're going to do better. But I see a lot of cyclists doing some pretty nasty and illegal stuff on the road. Now they have a place to go and hopefully do it more. Maybe some streets only. I think there's too many of them. I think there's too many bike lanes, in my opinion. So if he's cutting the ones that are interfering with traffic, I get it. All right. I want to go back to that. Where'd they go? Where'd their comment go? Oh, here we go. Lorraine says, he's all about cars, saying to Summer. Am I all about cars? I ride bicycle. I still ride bicycle. I have an e-bike. It's a legal one. I ride bicycle. I don't ride bicycle in the city of Toronto, then expect cars to get off the road to make room for me. I ride bicycles in the country. I ride bicycles in places where I feel safe doing so. I don't make it a commuter vehicle for me, and I don't expect others to make me safe. I ride safely, and I ride in traffic at times safely because I know the rules. Anyway, cyclists don't want to hear from me anyway. They tend not to. I say wear helmets and things like that, and it really infuriates them. J-Man says we have a huge mismanagement of funding within the service, within the services. I was passing through, wanted to say hi. Well, hi back to you. What do you mean the services? Do you mean like the police services are have too much spending or mismanaged, or just in general? There's problems with any system, but we dramatically need, or we need a dramatic increase in police funding. What do we got here? Phone Freak says, good morning. Good morning to you. Ad says there's a cop named Cutting. He's corrupted. I don't know. They said TPS is I don't know what they're talking about. Mays says BF is being convicted of a DUI and wasn't driving. The driver took off and the cops assumed. Then they have a defense. They need a lawyer. I imagine that they're not being convicted. They're being charged and prosecuted. Let's see here. What's the point of getting all-season tire if you have to change to winter tires? Well, I don't think all seasons are the answer. They're good. They're really 3-season tires. Sorry, all-season tires are the ones that are really 3-season, and then all-weather are the new ones that qualify as snow tires in Quebec, but they're still not as good as a dedicated snow tire, or dedicated winter tire. All the terminology overflowing one another. Ashley says, good morning. Good morning to you. Let's see here. This is me being a little bit under the weather as I start to jumble words. I should take a nap after. No, I got stuff to do. There's no napping. All right. What do we have here? But yeah, I grew up on all season tires. That's what I had when I was a kid. I didn't know how, and I say a kid until I got married. I was a kid, in my opinion. So I had all season tires my whole life, and then my wife said, "No, you're getting winter tires." It took my wife telling me to get winter tires, and I did, and it changed my life because I saw a night and day of difference. It's something else to think about. If you have winter, because people say, it's so much more money. If you drive with one set of tires for half the year and another set of tires for that other half, guess what? Each set of tires lasts twice as long. Just a thing. All right. What is this? Who goes first when you're both going left? If you both get there at the same time, you're both going left. So you're going in different directions. Well, if you both got there, it's usually the person to the right. Here's the deal, and it's a friend of mine who was a master instructor, driving instructor. He taught other instructors to become driving instructors. That's Scott Marshall, former judge on Canada's Worst Driver. Anyway, he's also a columnist. He's the what is he? He's the safe driver on TikTok, on Twitter. He's on TikTok too. Anyway, he talks about the fact that right of way is given, not taken. You can't control what they do. So you're better off letting them go and then going next, because fighting for who's first, not so good. Chris Miko, how you doing, my friend? Says, what about turning in the first available lane? What about, so you're making a proper turn? If you're making a left or right turn and you go wide, you don't turn into the appropriate lane. So if you're in the curb lane making a right turn, you're supposed to be in the curb lane when you finish your turn, not in the other lane. So if you go wide, it's an improper turn, $110. I think it's 2 demerit points. Mays says, the guy driving took off. My boyfriend's being convicted. You need a lawyer. If you don't have a lawyer, you need a lawyer. Big Dog says, the lines of the road aren't law. They're just a guideline for traffic. In Ontario, in other provinces, it is different. You can be charged for crossing a line anywhere but Ontario. We're the last holdout for not having a charge there. And I don't agree with it. We should have a charge for it, but it doesn't exist. Okay. We talked about this. Maze, I got your message. Stop spamming, please. Okay, snow tires are something people say they don't need until they need them. Aaron, you're absolutely right. We often call, and I just made the mistake 5 minutes ago saying snow tire. It's winter tire. It's less important to have the tread for snow. It's more important to have the rubber compound for cold weather. Okay, what time is it now? It's 10:42. Hang on a sec. We're going to put a shot clock. What do we got here? We got 18 minutes. Let's just go 20 minutes on the board. Here we go. Countdown timer, so I know when to say goodbye. That's what we're gonna do. Okay. What do you think about the all-terrain tires? AT all-terrain. People have said that high-end all-terrain tires are good enough. They may even meet the requirement. I can't speak to what an off-road tire handles on roads. Like I just don't have data to support that it's better than a winter tire, which has road tread. All-terrain, again, anything that's designed to be everything to everyone is probably less good than something specifically designed for the application you're using it for. So if you buy a winter tire that's for the road, that's a road tire that's for winter. That's where you use it. That's where it's going to perform best. If you buy something that's also good for sandy beaches and crawling on rocks, you're again splitting its function. It's probably less good in some of those situations. Okay. Who's at fault when slow down on yellow and rear-ended? Well, yellow means stop. So if you slow down as per the legal requirement of the light changing and the person behind you runs into you because they wanted to go through, they're at fault because they're not paying attention and they're following too close. So they would be charged for that. Now, you're not supposed to make an emergency maneuver when you see a yellow light. The light means stop if it's safe to do so. Otherwise, you proceed with caution. But you have to do that with, in a smart way. That's the deal. You got to be smart about it. Yeah. Let's see here. We got, sorry about the traffic. So Akela says, sorry about the traffic. We do what we can because Akela is in the traffic business in terms of traffic management. LJ says, good morning. So nice to have you back during this time slot. You sure are missed. I appreciate that, LJ. Thank you so much. I miss being here during the day. I miss being here on a regular basis, so I do what I can, and today I can. I got stuff and things right after, so it's a hard stop. Back in the day when I was with Toronto Police, I used to sit and do this for a minimum of an hour, but sometimes 2. More often than not, it was 1.5. And today, that is not going to be it, because now I have a timer, and I know how many minutes I got left before I got to go, even though I gave 2 minutes extra. Okay. Akela put his snow tires on last Monday. Paul Noble supports the 7x7 rule, 7 degrees for 7 months. See, it's funny, because I've heard 7 and 7 be 7 degrees for 7 days, not 7 months. But, what chair? Apparently the chair, there is no chair. Maybe you're not hearing the microphone. I hear it. Oh, yes. Reminder for those who put their winter tires on themselves, or even if you take it to a shop, retorque your wheels after 100 kilometers. Yeah, most reputable shops are going to tell you to come back, and they'll just use a torque wrench to verify that the nuts were all put on and haven't come loose. They were all done properly once everything settles. Brandon, good morning. Sean et al. How's it going, Brandon? Good to see you. Paul says, I have been retired for many years. I also miss the people I worked with. Please enjoy your retirement as much as you can. Enjoy, and let's see here, as much as you can. Enjoy knowledge. Oh, enjoy your knowledge and broadcasting shows. Thank you so much. I appreciate when people come out and say hello and are getting value out of what we do. And Paul, reach out anytime. Let's see here. Dre Studios says, but it's okay. That's what the handgun ban is supposed to fix, because criminals use firearms they purchased legally. Oh my goodness. It's funny. I've had many people reach out to me and say, could you do a video talking about how handgun bans do absolutely sweet F all about reducing crime? And I say, I don't have to, because the chiefs of police in Canada have said it publicly. They've said that criminals don't follow laws. So, adding more, stuff and things to the people who follow the law doesn't change the criminal's response. It's ludicrous. It's ludicrous. Hopefully we'll have some common sense government soon. Let's see here. Michael says, summer tires are better for summer, wet conditions than all seasons. Winters are better for +7 and below in both. Or +7 and below, yes. What about making your delivery order? What is this? What about making a delivery order to your children's school so you can keep answering questions? No. I need to do, actually, there's other things I need to do. But anyway, let's keep on going here. Snow tires, people don't need them. They need them. Yes, we talked about that. Who's at fault when the slowdown? We talked about that. Hey, I had a question. What colors are allowed in Canada for underglow on the car? So there's no specific law that specifies underglow at all. There's no underglow law. That being said, if you have underglow that projects light forward, that's anything other than yellow or white, you're violating headlight laws. Taillight laws, red or yellow. I'm using a blanket statement just to be simple. But yeah, that's the deal. If you're transmitting, if you're projecting colors other than what's permitted, it's a problem. What's this? Shazzy says, officer, in which division you're working now? You can't see what it says on the screen, and I'll just remind everybody. My name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a former police officer. If you're watching on the other platforms, there's a big thing that says traffic cop, former police officer. I left in August of this year. I have retired from policing, but I'm still doing other things in the traffic safety space, and this is me just giving back on my own time. And I think that it's important to be around, and I enjoy it, so it's not hard to do. But I was working at traffic services until I left. Let's see here. Thin White Line Interceptor. Ryan, what's going on? They have a question. Says, good morning, Sean. I hope retirement's serving you well. Any plans to be a guest on traffic services stream soon and stay well? So I haven't been asked to join them as a guest recently, but they haven't been doing the live stream for a while because Peter's been busy doing other stuff, but I would always be there for them. They are my blue family, and if they need something, I'm there for them, absolutely. So I would happily be a guest on their show. Without question. And big plans. What do we got here? All right. Often see left lane hoggers. What's the question here? And here we go. We often see left lane hoggers on their mobile phones. What does one do? Well, here's the sad thing. You seeing it, I would honk at them. That would be the most appropriate thing. Get their attention. It's the hello. I get a lot of people's attention. I tend to snuggle up beside them, give them a toot and wave. I have no authority other than to say you're an idiot, but that's what I do. So yeah, I mean, if they're all over the road, if they're a major concern for safety, I'd call police. There's a vehicle who's driving all over the road. I don't know what the reason is. Now, if you know it's cell phone, it's not a 911 call. And the truth is, police officers aren't going to get there in time to lay a charge. But if they're all over the road, there might be alcohol involved in addition to their cell phone. We don't know that it's just a cell phone. That could be one factor. Like I was behind someone driving home one day from work, and they were all over the road. And I put a video up on it, all over the road. By the time police pulled them over, the answer was they were on their phone and they were really, really, really tired. But they were all crossing lane lines on wide sweeping turns. I really believe this person was impaired. Okay. Eric Burrow says, what are you going to do after the TikTok ban? Well, I'm on all the other platforms. If you go to trafficcop.ca, you can get information about traffic stuff. You can also get all my other social media. But I don't think there's going to be a ban. There's the imbeciles that are in charge of the asylum right now are banning the use of the offices. Like they're making it so that the offices can't be open. They're going to shutter the company from operating in Canada. But the app's still going to be here. Like, if you really had a problem with the app, why not ban the app? Why ban the company from servicing their Canadian clientele for advertising? Unless there's something else going on. Unless this is really political. Or they're growing meth in the basement. I just don't buy that. Remind me, I got to make a video about this. Fries Bagger, can I go 310 kilometers down the 401? You can travel for 310 kilometers if you're driving at 100 kilometers an hour, or 110 in some areas. But you keep bagging your fries if you're going to work at McDonald's for the rest of your life if you're doing 310, because your insurance is going to be so high when we catch you and arrest you. I say we, but they. Hamza, thanks for the rose. Jay says, TikTok ban equals VPN. I don't know whether or not that'll be the thing or not, but I think it's the greatest platform. I really do. I mean, I'm on all the platforms, but I have the most engagement for traffic safety on TikTok. All right. Dan Werner says two things. If you put winter tires on steel rims, you're saving your nice alloy rims. Two, is it true that in Ontario you need to put your winter tires on for insurance by a certain date? That's an So yes, you are saving your nice rims from the elements, the salt and the disgustingness that is winter. So steel rims is what I do with my winters. Although some people take their tires off and put winters on their nice. Don't ask me why. I don't understand. Anyway. What do we got here? The other the concept was insurance. Some insurance companies do have specific dates that you have to change your tires to get a discount. I like discounts. Discounts are good. So whatever they require for their policy, it's between you and them. Sergeant Robitaille salutes and says, "Gotta go. Great dropping in here with you. I appreciate the visit. Come by anytime. I wish I could announce it better, but yeah, great having you in here for the live. Thanks for the interaction. Okay." You got you bag fries and you have a Dodge Challenger Hellcat? I knew you meant 310 kilometers, but I was being facetious because it's stupid to go 310 kilometers. Go spend time on a track, but don't do that on my roads. They're still mine. What do we got here? Jay says, okay, we got here. I'm parked side of the road and on my phone with car. Can I get ticketed? John, if you are parked legally at the side of the road, that means that you are sitting in a parking spot where you could effectively leave your vehicle if you needed to, then absolutely you can use your phone there. As long as there isn't a no parking sign. You can't just stop anywhere and use the road. Like I see people on the highway, they pull over on the highway to make phone calls. That's illegal. You can't park on the side of the road. It's only for emergencies. Obviously, you can legally use your phone if it's an emergency. I mean, anywhere. You can call 911 while you're driving if you don't have a speakerphone. Hey there, I'm on TikTok now, or I am now on TikTok, says Chevy or Ford. I'm a Ford guy. Not because I have a particular love for any one of the brands. It's that I find that the cabin, I'm a big guy, the cabin, the driver's compartment is bigger on the Fords than it is on the Chevys. I don't understand why. I don't know if Chevys were designed, to be limos and they give you less driver space so that the passenger can be more comfortable. I want to be comfortable. I'm the driver. They make it for me. Ford tends to give me more space. Stefan NP7T says handicap parking permit and green P parking. So if you have an accessible permit, you're allowed to park on the road, green P on the road at no charge in Toronto. Different for every jurisdiction. The parking lots, however, are not free. Jay says, have you ever met Randall Arsenault and the other, what's this? And the other with really long name that did TikToks? Are we talking about Randy, who is Officer Arsenault and Papadopoulos, PC Pappy? I've met both of them. I know them both. In fact, Randy and I have talked many times about collabing, which I'm sure we'll do at some point. Let's see here. River joined. Hello, River. Let's see here. What else we got? What else? Steel rims and maybe plastic covers if you're feeling fancy. Yes. All right. A new message. What's our timer? 7 minutes. John says, so if I have an accessible parking permit, I don't have to pay Green P parking on the road. Parking lot, you still have to pay. On the road, you get free parking with an accessible parking. In fact, you can park anywhere that it says no parking with an accessible permit. And where you have pay parking or street limits, like 3 hours for street limits, you get 24 hours. There's expanded permissions for those who are using accessible permits. What do we got here? We got Dan, who says, great and informative podcast. You are so true about your winter tires that you have saved me a couple times. Night and day. Thanks for the feedback. I appreciate it. I'm glad that if you're watching that you're getting positive value. And if you're watching on TikTok, please follow. And actually, wherever you're watching, please like and follow and share. My goal is always to help more people. So if you have people in your life that might benefit from having access to someone who knows stuff and things, because just because I've left the police doesn't mean I forgot everything that I knew. Although not speaking about it as frequently over the last couple of months, some things are not coming to me as quickly, which just means I need to do this more frequently to keep up to date. And I am still researching and reading stuff because I'm a traffic geek. I shall never stop. What do we got here? I need tea. Akela would guest on either show. And Akela has actually been in studio when we were in Toronto. Yes. And was that day the day that you got a sandwich and I got the Indian food because we double booked, or I double booked. In any case, it was good to have you there. And I do have the ability. Can I show you how this works? I have the ability to bring in guests here. I have the ability of doing funky stuff and bringing people on screen, and I want to do a lot more of that. Eric wants to know when I retired. I left at the end of August, and it's been weird. Jay says tea is the best. I've been a coffee guy for a long time, and sort of forgot about tea, but I'm really coming back to tea. I like tea. It gives me an excuse to put honey. I don't think honey goes in coffee. Let's see here. Jay says, they're the first cops I found on social media ever. We're talking about the guys from, yes. They were the, I don't know about PC Pappy, although he's got a huge following. But Randy, huge. I think he's got close to 1 million followers. Let's see here. David Boyd says, I appreciate very much your knowledge and explanation of traffic laws and general information. Thanks, David. I appreciate it. I appreciate the appreciation. I appreciate that it's helping you. That's really what it's at. Why do police drive unmarked vehicles in Ontario? Oh, they're the best. You know why? Because when people see police cars, they behave for 5 seconds. They stop doing the stupid crap they were doing that was dangerous to the public. And then as soon as they don't see the police car, they go back to doing stupid crap. When you have an unmarked vehicle, you see people in their native habitat where they think they can get away with stuff, and then they do stupid stuff, and then the unmarked vehicle catches them. See, the idea is to change driver behavior, not temporarily, but all the time. And if you know that every other car could be a police car, you might actually act like a grown-up, take responsibility, and drive properly. But people don't, so we need to be sneaky. And if you're not being sneaky, you're not trying to change behavior hard enough. Police are not there to make friends all the time. Sometimes we're trying to change driver behavior to make the road safer for everyone, because everyone's got people they care about. At least I do. I want my friends and family to get to where they're going and back home again safe every single day, not just some days, not just when a police car is around, all the time. So that's the deal. You need to be able to be sneaky to catch the people who are paying attention whilst breaking the law. Plus, it really helps for catching bad people, aside from traffic violators. Eric says, last time I seen you, you were in uniform. That's true. Last time I've been around. I've done a number of live streams since, but not in uniform, obviously. What do we got here? Tim Hortons messed up my tea before and gave me coffee. That's the day I started drinking it. Really? It was just a matter of switcheroo and that was it? So have you ever ordered a Diet Coke or a Coke and gotten Sprite? You take a sip, it's like, this is wrong. Yeah, I would not be able to enjoy a coffee. And I will tell you this. Tea is people don't give it enough credit. I mean, I don't go to tea shops. I'm just a black tea or Earl Grey or green tea or whatever the heck's in there. I'm not a connoisseur of tea. It's just that I'm getting tired of coffee. And maybe I'll rotate back. But again, honey, especially when I'm sick, tea is absolutely the go-to for when I'm sick and before bed. And people think there's less caffeine. There is not less caffeine. What happened to my timer? Didn't it have 7 minutes? Did it start over again? What in the heck? How did that happen? I think it reset. It did reset. It got to 0 and started over again. What a terrible timer. Okay. I can just take the timer off the screen now because it's useless. It's 11 o'clock. I got to go, but I want to read some. Okay. I love this. We're going to address this. I'm going to read the dad jokes and then I'm going to go. So, hi, Tracy, because Tracy says, hi, Sean. Tracy has been a long time a helper of the show, often in the chat, answering questions as a knower of stuff and things. Thanks for being here, Tracy. Blanche Power says, isn't that entrapment? No. And Jay already answered it, but entrapment is not having an unmarked police vehicle. Entrapment is having is enticing you to race. Like, hey, you want to race for pinks? And then when you race, I arrest you. That's entrapment. You know, trying to offering you a job as a hitman and then arresting you for accepting the job is entrapment. Being an unmarked police car where you just do what you were going to do anyway and I catch you because you didn't know I was there is not entrapment. I did not trap you. You broke the law whilst being a dum-dum. Not you. You're not a dum-dum, Blanche, but someone who breaks the law. What do we got here? Users, Trace, answer my question. What was I missed that. Okay. What else? Anything here? Are sting operations in entrapment? Oh, that's the, well, what's a sting? Like, what is this? Like, depends on what the sting is. Could it be entrapment? It could be if it's done improperly. There's obviously guidelines of what a sting is. If a sting is that you're there waiting for someone to show up that you know is going to show up and you didn't force them to show up under false circumstances, that's not entrapment. Mind you, if there's a warrant out for you, like there's people in the States, I've seen all these great videos where they're like, okay, they send an email to people who have warrants saying free TV, come get it. And they get them to come in and they arrest them based on the authority of the warrant. Yeah, they trapped them, but it's not entrapment. They were already wanted. They already had the lawful authority to arrest them. They just needed them to show up. Was that a trap? Yes. Was it entrapment? No, because they didn't induce them to break the law. The law had been broken. They'd already been found guilty, or there was already a warrant giving the police authority. Anyway, that's a whole different discussion, but I like where you're going with that. It's the closest thing to actually getting me to agree with somebody in the entrapment thing that I've ever, I think, heard. Does it really make a difference to speed to your destination? The answer is no. It really doesn't affect your arrival time significantly. Like if you drove at the same sustained speed over the speed limit for 5 hours, yeah, you'd have gotten there faster. If you do it on your 20-minute ride home, you might save 30 seconds. No, it's not a good idea. And yes, it's very illegal. Jay says, my brother's RCMP and I still have plans on wanting to be a cop myself. I'm assuming you want to be a cop and you just have plans on becoming one. But that's great. Okay. Good luck to you. It's a great time to be a cop. Great time to apply. Okay. LJ says I should invite. I'm going to invite. I should invite Sergeant Campbell to be a guest. I'd love that. I miss the Sarge. Okay. JC says Chan Pink waving. This must be an icon on YouTube that being translated into text. Okay. I favorited 4. Here's the dad jokes. Dad joke. My favorite jokes are elevator jokes. They're so uplifting. Do I have any? Hang on. No. I don't have the right I don't have the right button here. This was not programmed for. I don't. It's a mixer button. I got to reprogram this thing. But that should have been a snare hit. Okay, we'll use that. All right, we got. Here we go. What's the best thing about Switzerland? I don't know, but the flag is a big plus. It's also good. Dad joke. What do you call an Instagram star who has fallen ill? An influenza. I was a little early with the applause. Okay, and this is the quote that Akela shared. It is literally true that you can succeed best and quickest by helping others to succeed. Napoleon Hill. I do think that helping people is the best way to go. I've dedicated my life to helping people. It was my whole career with policing, from when I was a volunteer till court office. Like, it's all about helping. So I hope that I help you. All right, that's it. I got to go. There's people who need to be fed. They're my children, and they will complain to the management if I am late. So have a wonderful day. I'll be back tomorrow at 10 o'clock to do this again because. Anyway, stay safe, drive safe, sober, and park legally, and smile because it looks good on you. Have a great day.